Hello everyone and welcome back to another video covering the AQA GCSE Computer Science course. We're looking at clients and servers and the client-server model in this topic, which is topic number 18 on the spec. So let's get straight into it. Let's define what a client-server model is. So this model is a structure that splits tasks between servers and clients. So although we went through what servers and clients are in the last video, and by the way, I'd recommend you check that video out if you haven't watched it already, because quite a lot of terms discussed in that video and concepts in that video will apply to this topic. And if you don't know them, then you're going to be quite confused. But let's recap what a server is first. So servers are providers of a resource, or I should say, or service. So they provide the resources or services to the clients, and they request the service or resource from the server. So let's have a look at some characteristics of servers and clients. So servers always wait for requests from clients. So they're the ones that wait for the requests. They serve client requests by sending requested data to the clients. And they may also communicate with other servers in order to fulfill the request. So if they may be programmed to request data from other servers if a specific request is made from the client. So let's have a look at some client characteristics. So they always wait for replies. Of course, they always initiate the request and then they wait for a reply. They always receive replies from the server no matter what, unless the server's down, of course. And they connect to a small number of servers at a given time. In the last video we were looking at we're looking at networking, so network structures, and we defined servers and clients as a server as a computer and a client as a computer. I would, in this topic especially, I'd stray away from doing that, because this actually can happen within a single computer. It doesn't have to be two separate devices, and this can happen within a single computer, although I don't think you need to know about that. But I would just I'd stray away from calling them actual computers in this context, whereas in the last video they sort of, in context, it made more sense. So this is a diagram showing the client-server model. So you can see there'll be multiple clients connected to maybe one server or many servers. So this client maybe would be connected to lots of other servers, doing quite a few things at any given time. So the network is a communication medium, which we looked at last time, basically a communication channel, so for World Wide Web and connecting to the servers. So we've also got to look at what handshaking is, and it's not to do with normal, the meeting greeting sort of thing. This is to do with, it's an automated process of negotiation that needs to occur to establish a connection with a foreign device. So this connection can only occur once a handshaking process has occurred. So here the client and the server negotiate what protocols to use and the parameters that suit each device best. We look at protocols in the last video. Check that out. It's quite difficult to understand, but you need to know it. And these protocol parameters include a few examples are the speed of transmission, the error testing methods, and the size of bytes, which will vary between devices. So the client and the server must agree what values to use for each of these in this handshaking process. So let's have a look at it's actually a GIF of this happening. I've taken it from Wikipedia shamelessly, so there's the source there. So you can see it's quite fast. But you can see the client Alice initiates with the server. The server sends back, or the server replies with the values that it wants, and then they negotiate. The client negotiates, and a connection is made through this handshaking process. So it's basically, they basically meet. So these parameters will have, these parameters will have different values between each device, and they basically negotiate, meet in the middle. So we've also got to look at how coding for a client-server model differs from coding for a standalone application. You can probably imagine that it's quite different. So when coding for a client-server model, you need to have data stored by a server. Makes sense. The data is all stored by the stored by the server, and the client does all the processing, well, a lot of the processing, and that's as opposed to the client's, the data being stored on the client's computer, so that needs to be bared in mind by a programmer. Also, coding for a client-server arrangement requires lots of protocols to be considered and implemented, as the route from the communication cannot occur because there are rules that govern the communication. Also, generally, programming a standalone application is easier because you have less constraints that are given by the web standards / protocols. You are only really limited when you're programming for a standalone application by the operating system and the hardware's requirements and limits. Fairly straightforward, this video, I think. Maybe watch it again if it's if I've gone through it a bit fast. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.